Just press the start streaming. Just press start streaming. If I lean into the microphone like that, I'm going even. Why don't I move the microphone so it's 1 2 chuffy 1 2. 1 2 chuffy 1 2. Let's give you a bit of this. Because it's quite likely that we might edit this one. This one might get its own little edit. We haven't done the introduction yet. Pokemon music in the background, because of course I'm now a professional Pokemon streamer. You got your tea, you got your GMT. 8 PM GMT, well it's 17:52 GMT, so 8 minutes of this. I haven't got much chuff to go through this morning. This is not even the morning. I haven't got much chuff to go through today before Mental Health Monday today. Not much chuff. Not much chuff. There is a little bit of chuff related to Mental Health Monday, but not loads of chuff. Been playing Pokemon. That's what's been happening. If you want to watch me playing Pokemon, check out the YouTube page. There they are, the uploads, Poke uploads. Don't care if they don't get a lot of views. I'm going to play the whole chuffing game. Part of me thinks I should play it live on YouTube gaming. Part of me thinks that YouTube might suggest it and push it around. More than it does an upload. Certainly more than it does an upload. We'll have to do that, but the problem is that when we play on Twitch, we upload to YouTube. And it's a 24-hour cycle. There's 24 hours between. What we did today will become live tomorrow on the stream. Mental Health Monday will be uploaded to the stream full, and it will become live tomorrow on the YouTube. It's like a 24-hour cycle because we're a Twitch partner, which is fine. But it means that if I play Pokemon today, and then tomorrow I go on YouTube Live and play Pokemon, what will happen is that my YouTube Live will be running, and then afterwards I'll upload a Pokemon video from yesterday, and it won't run in sync. That'll be awful. That'll be awful. We're just going to do it this way for Pokemon. We're just going to play it on Twitch, stream it on YouTube, with the occasional, we will have an occasional, depending on how the times line up. If the times line up, we'll have an occasional YouTube stream as well for Pokemon. But really, Pokemon's going to be over on Twitch over here. Pokemon, it means I'm going to be live on Twitch a lot more because I'm going to be playing a lot more Pokemon. I've said Pokemon a lot today, haven't I? I've never played a Pokemon game before, but they brought one out for the Nintendo Switch. It was billed to be beautiful like Zelda. I like beautiful Zelda. I liked Breath of the Wild so much. I just like going and hanging out places, putting it on the big telly, walking myself over to somewhere nice like the mountains or whatever, just leaving it on, just sitting around having a beer, being in the atmosphere. I don't drink beer anymore. Still play Zelda. I'm looking forward to the new one, and so to keep my feelings, because I always think I want that. Oh, where's my new Zelda? To keep that under wraps, I've been playing Arceus, Pokemon Arceus Legends. That's what I've been doing. I'm a streamer, so it's the sort of thing we do, isn't it? It's the sort of thing we do. It's the sort of thing we get up to. 5 minutes to Mental Health Monday, so don't panic. Don't panic. There's no need to panic. In fact, Mental Health Monday, the opposite of panic. It's like we do the opposite of panic. We relax, we chill. And so with that vibe in mind, now you'll understand why we're listening to relaxing Pokemon music compiled by Breaks. I think I'm alright just using someone's YouTube video because it is just non-copyright music compiled, isn't it? So thanks, Breaks. Thanks, Breaks. I don't recognise any of these Pokemon songs though, because I never played any of the games, but they're just relaxing Pokemon songs in the background. And I won't do the chuffing before I do the war. I should do the warning. I always say I should do this first, so I'll accept the cookies from the Samaritans, because the Samaritans are there waiting for your call. 116123 for free. What that is if you're in the UK and you're feeling down, depressed, on edge, any of these things, you know what I'm talking about, suicidal even, call the Samaritans. especially if you're suicidal. Especially if you thought life isn't worth living in the last 24 hours and you didn't think you'd have anyone to talk to about it. In the UK, it's 116 123 for free. For free. Yeah. Same deal in America. Lifeline. We're talking 988 as the number. It's also 1-800-273-8255, but they're changing it to 988. So 988 will be for everyone from July the 16th. So 988, Suicide Prevention Lifeline in the USA. Someone you can talk to if you're feeling on edge. Because it's Mental Health Monday here. So I'm asking you, if you want to talk in chat about how you feel, go ahead. If you've got problems, talk to us in chat. Only on Mondays. Don't do it on any other day. On Mondays. But on Mondays at 8 PM GMT is probably the bit of the week that's the worst. So alongside asking you to bring up your thoughts and feelings in chat, you don't have to come to us. You can call these people for the direct one-to-one support if you're really on edge. I do a lot of chuffing on this Mental Health Monday. I do a lot of chuffing. And what chuffing is me talking, just chuntering along, making a bit of fun out of stuff, trying to make it, a bit upbeat. I do a lot of chuffing. And we're going to do chuffing today about breakups. It's called a breakup because it's broken. It's going to come up. Looks like ice cream. And I'm also going to be doing some chuffing about cognitive behavioural therapy. That's what's coming up today. So if you don't feel this is the right environment for you to type your problems into chat, don't worry, that's fine. Lifeline Samaritans are there for you. But also, leave comments on our YouTube work. We've got a YouTube channel. We do this edited Mental Health Monday. This is the edited version of what you're watching now. It's been about a month since our last upload. But that's cool. I've been taking a little break, and I think we're definitely going to get an upload out of today, because I think there's something important we're going to say about breakups, because we do another channel. 1 minute to go. Get this out. And this is part of the Mental Health Monday, so I don't have to 1 minute to go at anything. That was capital K there for a second. I'm just trying to find our other channel. Down here, Mental Health Monday, Ganji Cuts, Ganji Arts, True Binaural. So we'll go there in a minute. In fact, we won't, because I won't be able to see the comment without looking at the video, and I don't want to put the video on, and it's like... We'll just go back to Mental Health Monday. 1 minute to go. Get this out of your system. Get this out of your system quick. 1 minute to go. Oh, moving me around. Get that out of your system. Web of a browser. Let's just move the web of a browser like that. Doesn't really matter, does it? And Super Nintendo Switch we're not playing. We're playing web of a browsing. This is Mental Health Monday. Let's just shuffle the web of a browser around so it looks good. We're here. 8 o'clock. 8 PM GMT. It's official. I'll do the introduction. As if on cue. Hello, Jahoon. It's great to have you here. Here's my big face. Hi, you're with Scott. It's Mental Health Monday. It's Monday. It's always Monday. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's 8 PM GMT. This is your right ear. And this is your left ear. Hello, I'm Jahoon. It's your first time chatting. Is Jahoon a Korean name? That looks Korean to me. South Korean. I'm down with the old... AOA, Ace of Angels. Down with a bit of the old Ace of Angels. And like a bit of the old... who's the best out of Blackpink? Who's the best out? It's not Jennie, is it? Lots of people think Jennie's the best, but actually it's Lisa. Lisa's the best out of Blackpink, isn't she, really? Let's face it. You're not good at English. This will be uploaded on YouTube. What we do here gets uploaded on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel called Ganji Kid. There it is. And that will have subtitles. So if I slur my words like I did then, it'll have subtitles. I don't know if we've got subtitles on stream here. I'm not that good a streamer to understand how it all works, but this is Mental Health Monday. I'm Scott. I run this show. We don't just do Mental Health Monday, we're a stream in general. Every Monday we do Mental Health Monday, but in general we've been playing Pokemon. So that's what we've been doing this week. videos are all uploaded to our YouTube channel, Ganji Kid. Everything we've ever done on stream is there. Today's Mental Health Monday. I'll crack on with that. Boom. So what we're doing today in Mental Health Monday is two things. One, we're going to look at breakups. We're going to look at what it's like to break up with someone, how it feels, how to get over a breakup. We're not going to go in depth. We're going to go brief, and we're going to talk about it through a context of a book, because that book's really good. And the reason is because someone watched one of my videos on True Binaural and ASMR. Someone watched one of my videos and they left a comment. So I'll probably grab that comment for the edit, because it was a real comment on here. I think it was this video. But for now, I'm not going to bring up the comment on the screen, because I just want to check that. I mean, they put it live on the internet, didn't they? They put it out there, so I'm sure they'll be okay with it being broadcast on my video. But I just want to check that it's okay to. I'll probably just use it. I'd have to change it. I can switch account, can't I? Look at my comments. Hang on. I'll switch account. Let me just. I'll show you the comment. Web browsing off. Account. Switch account. We are True Binaural ASMR. We've got loads of comments. This one. It's this one. It wasn't on that video. It was on a different video. So there you go. Read more. And we'll bring this onto the YouTube so you can see. You can't see, it's really small. I'll go web browser. There you go. And I'll put it over. I've been struggling with depression for 10 years now. ASMR has always helped. So that's why on the ASMR channel, we direct people to True Binaural and ASMR. From there, we direct them to Mental Health Monday here. We hope they come here, because lots of people struggle with depression and use ASMR. My girlfriend of 9 years had an affair. That's awful, isn't it? First of all, that's awful. I feel really bad for you. There's nothing I can say to make you feel any... there are some things I'm going to say today that are going to help to make you feel better, but I can't magic it with words. But I know you feel terrible, because that's not cool. You know, a lot of time and energy, a lot of your heart has gone into the last 9 years, and then they've just sort of dashed it up the wall. You must feel like they've like it's all been thrown away for nothing. You must feel terrible about that. Hopefully we're going to help you to feel better. So they had an affair. They left you and your little girl for a guy she worked with last month. And now you've got a little girl as well. So there's going to be difficulties in that, because you might have to still interact in some way in the future, maybe. But my parents are divorced. You know, it's one of those things. It happens. Extra burden on your shoulders, I get that. For the past few weeks, I've struggled to get any sleep at all. Tried a ton of ASMR videos. This seems to be the only one that helps. Not sure exactly why. Maybe it's the variety of sounds. Whatever it is, it's working. So thanks. So that's cool in one way, because that's my dummy head ASMR dummy head video. So it's not even about relationships, but it's helping Mr. Oggy to sleep. That's cool. But Mr. Oggy's got a bigger problem that's keeping him awake. So today I want to try and help us deal with the problem, like this, the root of the problem, so that it's not my videos that are going to help him sleep. It's the fact that he feels better that's going to help him sleep. Do you see what I'm saying? It's important that I don't just leave someone like that watching. I could make 10 more videos of ASMR. They keep watching them because they've got trouble sleeping. I get the views. They keep coming back. I'd rather make this one video, and maybe they don't keep watching my videos. That's a negative to me. I'd like them to keep coming back, even if they find that sleeping is easier, because we've helped them at the root cause of the problem. So that's what we're going to do. Root cause of the problem. Find a way to fix that. Fix things. Jim will fix it for you. We're going to try and help. That's all we're going to do. And then also, if we've got time at the end, we'll look at the cognitive behavioural therapy work that we've been doing, which we've been looking at the different distortions that people have. And I don't know if we will have time, but if we do, we'll get onto some of the ways that we can deal with these distortions. It's going to take some time. That's for the future. It might be a bit today. Obviously some more for the future, because that's going to take a bit of time. We'll be coming back to that all year, probably. All year we'll be coming back to that. So don't worry, that's still there. what am I starting on then? What am I starting on? This book's called a Breakup because it's broken. Now, I'm not really one for advertising products. I'm not making anything off this. It's available on the internet in many forms. You can get it in like a PDF or just trying to move it around so you can see the whole title at once. You can get it in all different, you can buy it in places. There it is, look. Amazon. It's up to you however you want to ingest it. You don't have to ingest it. I'll tell you what I'm not allowed to do. You don't have to buy this. But I'm not allowed to read it out on stream. Okay, I'm not allowed to read it out on stream. That's copyright infringement. We're not doing that. I've read it myself in the past. Now, this isn't about me. It's about you and your, it's about you, Mr. Oggy, and your feelings. But I see where you're coming from because been there before myself. Don't have a daughter. Do have many dumpings. Been dumped a few times. I'm in the same boat. Doesn't help you in any way that I've felt a similar feeling. I don't know if you know that I feel the same. You probably don't understand. You probably don't assume that I feel the same. I probably don't understand you fully. Do you know what I mean? Who can? This is one of the human condition, isn't it? But believe me, I'm here to help. So I'm not claiming to have known and been through what you've been through. I'm not claiming to have been there and done it all. Just saying, I think I've got some sort of vibe going that I know. I think I've been there. Just saying that. It comes across really patronising. That's not what I'm trying to do. It doesn't help you in any way for me to be patronising. Oh, I've been there. Oh, I know how to do this. Oh, I know. That doesn't help. Doesn't help. But this book, I've read it a few times. I've been through the breakups. It really helped me. There are a few really key concepts that really helped. It is directed more towards a girl who's broken up with a boy, female who's broken up with a male. But these days, those things don't really matter. We're all just humans. So, sometimes it was talking about him, her, she. I just ignored that and thought that they, because I'm a modern person. What I can do is I can go through this table of contents. Web browsing. I hope I tell you what, I hope the music isn't inappropriate for you. Relaxing Pokemon music. Just going to skip it on one. Is it too... No, it's cool, isn't it? Relaxing Pokemon music. So, what we've got here is... I'm kind of cheating. These are the titles of the different chapters in the book. And from my memory, I'll be able to give you a lot of pointers. But I would advise you get the book because it's a really good book. It's got a lot of things to think about, a lot of helpful words, and it's what you're going through. It's what you're going through. It's there for you. So we're going to go through that. I'm not breaking any copyrights. There was one other thing that I thought we'd do. Yeah, I'd remind you that on our channel, and I'm going backwards to this, Ganji Kid, and on Mental Health Monday, we have got a video about grief. There it is, grief. It's me before I was a good streamer, before I had proper lights. I look like I'm being low lit, like I'm in a horror movie. But essentially, it's me talking about grief. 40 minutes, the Kubler-Ross grief cycle. I think that a relationship breakdown is a lot like Kubler-Ross. I think it's a lot like a grief stages cycle thing, because you're grieving what you've lost. Like a lot of, maybe you want it back, maybe you want to get it back, but accepting that it's lost, being able to move on. You know those phrases, moving on. Oh, that's easier said than done, isn't it? That's easier said than done. But those sort of ideas are what come up in this grief cycle. Denial at first, something such a shock, you can't even get it in your head, you can't even understand it's happening. You might avoid, or it might send you into anxieties, not wanting to face it head on. Anger, frustration, how can this be happening? Again, anxiety comes up in that. Anger can spill out in lots of other ways, and lashings out. We lash out at the people that we want to sort of reach out to as well, don't we? Reaching out, lashing out. Depression, overwhelmed, helplessness, hostility. We know what depression's like. You know what depression's like. Bargaining. Maybe if I did this, maybe if I'd said this, maybe if she was here maybe if in 10 years time, maybe if this, maybe that. Bargaining, not accepting. Finally accepting. Those denial, anger, depression and bargaining, it's not a straight line cycle. You go all the way through one, the other one will pop up again another time. You'll be doing a really positive day and then you'll end up depressed. You'll have anger and then you'll be able to let it pass, and then you won't even believe it's happening again. Denial, it's not a cycle. It's just ideas that keep coming up, and if you can work through them with information and communication, emotional support, guidance and direction, you can come out the other side into acceptance. Things do happen. Some of them are pretty chuffy. Some of them are pretty chuffing low. People do the bad things. The accidental bad things happen. Some of them are chuffy. Some of them this is the life. At the same time, in the way that everything is waves, everything will dissipate. If we can distract ourselves and allow the time to pass, we can reflect on things with a bit of distance. They don't feel so raw to us. We can get through them to an acceptance phase. We can start to focus on the things in life that we find joyous, that give us joy. And you've got something going on here where the thing in your life that brings you the most joy, your daughter, I imagine, is also now tied up in the thing in your life that's bringing you a lot of pain. And it's not her fault, and it's not your fault, and it is your ex's fault, but it's not really anyone's fault. People just change over time. Like, if in the kind of Buddhist thinking, it's if you could remove yourself from your feelings, if you could step outside yourself and look down and say, well, here is a human being. They're sad about this. They're angry about this. They're upset about this. But if I was an alien looking down, here is a human being. Like, they've got all these complex feelings going on, but really they're all inside the human being. Like, I can't measure them. I can't read them. I'm just an alien looking in. They're comfortable. They've got positives. Their daughter's lovely. Look to the future, opportunity to meet new people. They're not looking down. You don't see all this going on inside. But if we can allow all this inside to just dissipate, if we can let go of that, if we can be like the Buddha, looking down on ourselves and reach some sort of enlightenment, that's how meditation helps and mindfulness helps. If we can just let things go for a minute and then just take some joy in the world, we can move through the process. At the moment, you're not going to get to feel those joys. Not on day 1, not on day 2, not on day 10, not on day 20. If you've been together 9 years, it might take you 5 years to really, and that's fine. You've got time. We've all got time. So the best thing we can do is help you to distract yourself in short periods of time. We're going to go through this whole list of things, but with grief specifically, distraction at some periods of time when you need it, when it's getting too much. Help with the depression, maybe medication from the doctor, maybe, that helps to get you through the difficult times. Dealing with frustrations, anxieties, accepting the denials, the bargaining, they both get folded in together and become part of acceptance. We can get through this together. It's not easy to do. It doesn't feel good every day, but the fact that you've done 10 minutes, 20 minutes, the fact you've used a video to sleep instead of, going off the deep end and doing something drastic, that's proved to you that you've already got it in you to get there. So in the dark times, you can reflect on the fact that you've already shown that you've got the courage to make it through them, and you've got more to live for because you've got a daughter and this and that. Like, there's so much more than just one person causing you distress in this world, and you will see it. At first it won't feel like that, but eventually it will. We can see in the world there are other people that get through things, that break up, make up. That doesn't help you. It doesn't matter whether so-and-so got through their breakup. You're feeling this raw now. It's part of the human condition. It's part of what makes you human. So it's good to be human and to feel that. If you didn't feel that, you'd be, like some sort of zombie, and that wouldn't be so good. But sometimes it's just a little bit, you're not forced to feel the burning, the sinking, burning lead, and you don't have to hold that all the time. You're allowed to put that down for a bit. And we can help you do that. So my actual first top tips: check out the grief cycle, check out our video about grief. It plays into this. It's called The Breakup because it's broken. It's quite a harsh title for a book, isn't it? And the big concept that we are working on here is that acceptance, not doing the bargaining. You will do it, we all do it. But acceptance, it's called a breakup because it's broken. If you were meant to be together, maybe you would be together. Maybe you just have to try and, move forward. And in order to do that, we have to try and say, look, no going back. It's hard, especially with people in the world, because they're still there in the world. Maybe if we could convince them, maybe if we could show them, maybe if I did this and lived up to that, they've already made their decisions. We'd still be together if we were supposed to be together. We're obviously not. I've got to stop thinking, maybe if I did this, maybe I've got to try and... It's called a breakup because it's broken. That's why they're being harsh like that. And that is a really good... Do you know what? In my experience, and this is not out of the book, but I kind of imagine my ex is, completely off the planet, gone, dead. I can't... I have to draw a line under it in some way. So no contact whatsoever is the way I go forward with that, because it doesn't help me to... we still be friends and still. You've got a daughter involved, so I know it's going to be more difficult. There's going to be complications, but maybe for this first bit, just zero contact might be easier in a way, or as little as, because it always brings up the feelings, and we need distance from those feelings to allow them to dissipate, so we can get control over our lives, so we can choose how we want to move forward. So this book is written from two people's introductions, Greg's introduction and Amelia's introduction. It's written from the perspective of a boy and a girl. I can't remember if it's the person who's been dumped and the person who's moving on, or if they're different attitudes towards the same problem, or if it's from the male if you got dumped and you're a man and you got dumped and you're a lady. I don't think it really matters for this purpose what we're doing here, because I know that I'm directing it towards one person specific, but also that we're all human and we all feel these same sort of things. So it's fine, it's natural. It doesn't matter if you're Greg, Amira, or if you're like a non-specific gender. What Lies Ahead is a chapter, and it will outline the difficulties that you're going to go through. Like I said, you're going to go through this grief cycle. You're going to find nights you can't sleep. You're going to find times that you're just accidentally reminded of someone, and you can't help it. You're going to find difficult conversations with your daughter. You're going to have, you're going to have difficulties ahead. So it's about being able to build ourselves towards them, isn't it? It's about being able to prepare ourselves for the road ahead. Self-care is important. At this stage, I know that we're 20 minutes into the episode. We're probably only going to cover breakups today, so I'll go into a bit of depth on some of these things. Early days, it's absolutely fine to be like, look, I've just suffered a trauma. I cannot deal with your, if I was working on it, I had to do something on the computer at work, and I need some days off. I need some time off. I've just had this awful breakup. I'm not having a good time in my life. I don't want to become a hermit. I don't want to just go down a dark path on my own and sit in the home and drink and lose control of the days and the nights. That's not the plan. But I need some time to self-care and recover. And part of that is taking a bit of a break yourself. Maybe a duvet day, entire series of The Sopranos. I don't advise you drink. I say no drinking, because drinking makes you anxious. Drinking means that you're going to maybe pick up the phone when you don't want to. It brings feelings out that you don't want to spill out. You wake up the next day, you think, oh God, did I do that? We don't need any of that. That's not going to help us. At the same time, I have been through most of my severe breakups as a drinker. I don't drink anything anymore. I haven't drunk anything for 5 years. One of my worst breakups was part of the reason I stopped drinking, and it actually made a big change in my life for the better. So if you are drinking, specifically you, if you are drinking, even if it's not a big problem in your life, and it's not you don't see it as even if you're not getting hungover and thrown up, but maybe if you are sometimes, maybe if we can quit that at the same time as we quit her or them, we delete their number. You can't, because you've got a daughter. I know it's difficult, isn't it? But we're making some clean breaks, some new changes. Maybe put that one in as well. Gives you something else to struggle with at the same time. But also it really helps you to feel fresh, stops you from feeling as anxious, because alcohol makes you feel anxious. It gives you a little bit more money in your pocket, and it gives you the opportunity to say, what am I going to do with my time now? Rather than, I've got nothing to do, I'm so bored and I'll just drink. What should I do to push myself forward? And I know you don't feel like doing it now. That's okay. We're going to plan for it. Right now, you're going to want to watch The Sopranos. You're going to want to sit in a duvet, eat a whole tub of ice cream. It's okay to do that for the first few days, but it's not okay if that is the long-term habitual practice. We dig. And this is how we're going to change that record. The breakup, that's a chapter. It's harsh, it's horrible. It's called the breakup because it's broken. I think I've outlined what I mean there. I'll go over it a bit more though. We're going to not go back. We're not looking to resolve this by, in 10 years time I'll be better, I'll have this job, maybe she'll bump into me and we'll strike up a new partnership, or if I do this, that and the other, maybe I can get them back. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about, it's broken. We've got to accept that if it was working, we'd all be happy. It's obviously got to this point because there's something wrong. We have not fixed it over the time that we've been. We've had the chances and we've decided this is the way we're going. Maybe it's not the way you decided. Maybe it's the way she decided. Maybe it's the way the world decided. It's been we're at this point now. We don't have to have the whole. What's wonderful about this system is you're going to want to speak to your friends, and this system does allow for this. It does allow for this. You're going to want to tell all of the old, well, then she did this, and there was this time she did that, and it's been bugging on my mind, and I've got no one to tell, and it's fine to let all this out. It's fine to let all this out. But really, going over all that old ground, you might learn a bit about yourself. Maybe it's better to do it in time. But at the moment, it dredges up all these feelings that we're trying to move away from. So it's not really constructive, and it will keep coming up in your mind. I've got a sister, so when I have a breakup, I'm on the phone to my sister, and then I think, oh, so-and-so, and I'll say to my sister, oh, she 6 months ago, she said this at this, we were at this party, and I remember she said this, and then does that mean that maybe I could, and she's like, why are you ringing me up to talk about this? It happened 6 months ago at a party. Shut up. Like, she's quite harsh with me sometimes, but it's a good thing, because I'm trying to, like, I need someone to tell. This thing's fizzing in my mind. If I don't let it out, it just fizzes in my mind and I go over it. So I need to get it out. She hears me get it out. She allows me to speak it. And then she says, the answer to this is, forget it. We're not answering that. We're moving forward to something else. So tell me about what you're doing that's moving forward. Let's distract you. Let's get you off this onto something else. And it's really hard because it's consuming your whole mind. But at least, so it's called a breakup because it's broken. We're going to get off that onto something else. We're going to move forward in our new form. At the moment, it's going to involve sitting in a duvet, but it's the big long-term plan, isn't it? It's got to. It's like a brave new world. Feels like the world has ended. It's a brave new world now. That's how it has to be. It's not. It's been inflicted on us, maybe, but if we can pick up those broken tools, those worn-out tools, and build up our winnings again. If we can go forward into a new world, that's our plan. And a big important part here, of this, the other person has to be complicit in the plan if you want to do the plan together. You have to be able to trust them. You have to be able to work together if you want to do the plan together. In your situation, and in the situation of many, many other people, in my situation, in your situation, in our situation, in this situation, the other person is not on side. They're not pulling for the team. You've got your idea, how you want to move forward. This other person is not pulling for the team. So we need to move forward, maybe find someone else who wants to move forward on that way. It's got to be accepted, hasn't it? It's got to be accepted. You need this other person. They're not doing it. We can't do it. I can't make it. I can't control it. I can't control it. There's no amount of phoning her up, him up, them up. There's no amount of threats or promises. There's no amount of coercive behaviour, of manipulative behaviour, of positive coercive behaviour like gifts and promises. There's no amount of any of that that's going to change what a person wants to do in their head and their heart if they've moved in a different direction. That's okay. That's okay. You don't love every person out there. You don't love every person you meet. You do fall in love more than once, maybe. I don't know if you've ever been in love before. That'll give you the promise to know that it can happen again. You can be in love, they might not. It's okay. We're going to move to, we want this team together, pulling in the same way, something we can't control. So the main, okay, I'm getting a bit confused here, but the main point I'm trying to make here is that we can't control the other person. Therefore, give up trying. Accept it, let the boat sail, let the bird fly away. Don't keep trying to grab and grab and grab. Let the bird fly away. We need a bird that's going to sit on our shoulder out of choice, don't we? You know, let that bird fly away. People are not birds, people are people. And we'll get something that is real, not in a cage, forced. We'll get, not because I did this and I said that and that. We'll get something real. We'll move towards it together. So you have to let these things go because they're just, you can't control them. So knowing what you can control and what you can't control is really important because we're going to move on what we can control. We're going to work on what we can control, us, our choices, our actions, our thoughts. When we're upset, we're going to try and distract. When we're down, we're going to listen to our favourite records and comedy movies and talk to our friends and eat pizza. And it's still not going to make us feel better at the end of the day. But the next day, it won't be as bad. And the next day, it won't be as bad and things like that. You know, sometimes it does make you feel better in the moment when you're there with your friends, or sometimes you're sat there and thinking, God, I feel absolutely terrible. No one can understand this feeling I'm in. It just won't go away. Why won't it go away? They're all enjoying watching the film and they don't realise I still feel terrible. Sometimes I have to get up and go outside on the balcony and just take a break. Talking to people really helps, though, talking to friends and being around them. But then, you know, nothing's ever perfect. I go home, I still feel down. It's not a fix it. It's not a plastercast. It's not an ASMR video makes me sleep, I'm fixed. But working through it in a process gets me there. So the first part of the process is saying it's broken, we're going to go on the journey. There are no new messages is a chapter in the book. Looking at that phone over and over again, just checking it used to make a noise, and that noise meant them. You know, it was like a sound that is now Pavlovian response into my mind. Whenever that noise goes on the phone, it could be them. It used to be them all the time. So my brain is wired that way. This is only useful for contacting friends. There are no new messages. They are not going to reply. They're not going to. The more you send, the worse it feels at their end. The worse you feel for sending them. The more you send, there are no. For you specifically, with a child in play, there are some messages. Maybe. The point here is, let's just get off that. You know, it's called, it's broken. It's broken. There are no new. I'm not going to keep checking that for thing. You have to delete the number if you can. Erase it from the. Stop. Get that idea out of your head. They're not going to wake up tomorrow and call you up. Get it? So it's not hopeless to like. It feels like, oh, that's my hope. That's my hope. Let's not crush my hope. That's not what we're hoping for. Let's hope for something better. Let's hope for something better, something long-term better. He is not hiding at the bottom of that pint of ice cream. Now, they are not hiding at the bottom of the pint of ice cream. Not being sexist. They are not hiding at the bottom of the pint of ice cream. What they talk about here is all those things I just said we should be doing. We should be eating a big thingy of ice cream, and you know, we should be sitting on the sofa and watching the entire episode, all of The Sopranos. But we can't do it forever. We can't do it forever. Rest and recovery also involves exercise. I mean, a great one for not sleeping is, you've got a daughter, you know what it's about. You know, you're tired all the time. A great one is doing some exercise, because it creates endorphin. Oh, I don't feel good, I feel terrible, I'm just running. But actually, physically, it creates endorphins in your body that do help you to feel better, even if it's incrementally. It gets you out, gets you moving. We're moving forward, remember. We're not piling on ice cream, chocolate weight and, oh, I feel bad, oh, I'm eating. We could do it for a bit, but we have to say, right, okay, this is not the answer. It's a short-term fix. It's an ASMR video to help us sleep. It's not the answer that's going to fix my problems. So at some point, I'm going to stop eating the ice cream. I can still have a bit, but I'm going to stop using it in this way. I'm going to look for something better. And we've got better options. We've got, even if, I tell you what, video games is great for this as well. Because even if at the end of the video game, there's only a small sense of achievement, at least there's a sense of chuffing achievement. Some people feel a sense of achievement about finishing all the ice cream. So I can't deny them that. I ate 12 tubs. Yes. But Exercise is really good for it. Music is fantastic. Certainly getting your emotions out through writing, through songs, that can be really cathartic. It's okay to feel these things. It's absolutely okay to feel these things. You're going to feel these things. You're going to hear a song, it's going to make you cry. You're going to sing a song, it's going to make you cry. You know, it's okay to let it out and then change the record at the end and say, okay, I had my cry. I've done that. I'm going to pull myself together. Next record is my favourite motivation record, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to get motivated. I'm going to do this. Come on, let's do this. Self-talk, motivation, you know, do the song. Okay, right now, what am I working on? Let's go for a run, or let's do this thing, and let's whatever. It's waves. It's okay to feel the lows. It's okay, it's human, but it's waves, so it has to dissipate, and we have to build up onto another high. We have to keep going. The highs won't last forever. These low waves are coming around the corner. That's human. That's okay. We ride them. We surf these waves. If you mention his name one more time, I'm a great one for this. Mention their name one more time. This chapter talks about how you're going to lean on your friends. Yeah, you're absolutely going to lean on your friends, your family, and your friends and family are not counsellors, and they're going to get tired and frustrated, and that's okay too. You know it's going to happen, so watch out for it. And one of the things is you talk about this chuffing person all the time. They are the bane of your life. They're your nemesis in a way, or you want them back so much that you're thinking of different ideas, or you know you're going to bring it up a lot. It's on your mind. I get it. There's time for that. We're going to have times where we talk about it, get it off your chest. But like I said, the way my sister does is she listens and then she says, right, I've had enough of this. If you mention their name one more time, maybe it's better to put a ban on mentioning their name. Once you've gone through that first bit, once you're at the bottom of the pint of ice cream, once you're pushing forward, let's just, unless it's important, unless it's like life and death or something, you know, let's just say anytime it comes up, I've remembered, I'm crossing that one out, the thought, that's come up, I'll say that, okay, yeah, I've been warned, 10p in the swear jar, 20p in the swear jar. It's like a swear word, me saying her name. I get it. It's like every time I mention him, you get wound up because I'm just bringing up the name again. Like, yeah, I get it. It's a process to move through. You don't have to do that tomorrow. It's a process to move through. My mom and my dad gave each other nicknames. It meant they didn't have to even feel the way they felt when they said the name of their previous loved one. Now they can give each other these horrible nicknames and they can feel bad when they said them. Maybe that's not the healthiest thing either, but we're going to try and not feel about them or about them. We're just going to feel like, okay, yeah, whatever about them. In the same way as Ferraris go past in the street, I'd love to drive them. They're not my Ferrari. No, I just let it go past. I don't get angry at the people who are driving the Ferrari. If my ex is with, we're going to come on to that in a minute. We're going to come on to that for a minute. Backside. No, we're not. Okay. I'll cover that now then. Part of it is, you know, I said part of it's like imagine they're dead, just, you know, written off completely out of your life, never going to speak to them again. Easier that way. Another part of it is you kind of have to imagine that your ex, and this is going to be hard. But you have to imagine your ex is with, like, if you're with Brad Pitt or with Jenny from Blackpink, or, you know, imagine they're with the best person in the world. They've left you. They're with the best person. They're now going out with Barack Obama, and you can't complain because you like Barack Obama, or, you know, someone you admire even. You know, you can't be jealous about. They're going to go and have a wonderful life with this wonderful new person. Get it out of your system now. You know, think it through, accept it. You're going to try and do the same. But I want to stop this idea of, oh, I wish they'd fail. Oh, I'm glad that they're unhappy. Oh, let's check in on what they're doing on Facebook, and oh, they're talking to those idiots. Oh, no, I want them to be happy. I'm glad for them. I'm happy for them. They're going to lead their best life. If I'm not going to check I can't believe I didn't say this. Delete their socials. I don't want to see their fucking Facebook. I don't want to be stalking their Facebook. It makes me feel bad. They know I'm looking at it, so they've, you know, put up whatever picture to make this feeling happen in me. None of it's healthy. I don't need that in my life. I'm just off that completely. It's not healthy. delete the socials. But also imagine that they're with Brad Pitt or, you know, someone wonderful, because you're going to try and move the same way and you want this happiness. It's not easy at the start, but it's easier to say in your head, instead of, oh, I wonder what they're doing now. I wonder if they're thinking of me. No, they're off with Brad Pitt. So forget it, move on. I wonder if they're, I wonder if they're having a tough time at work, because I remember that thing they said about work was tough. I wonder if I'll just call them to see if they've got through that thing at work. No, they're off with Brad Pitt. Forget it. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's quite helpful to think that, and it makes you don't want us to be Brad Pitt when I see someone else driving my Ferrari. That's a very possessive way of thinking about it. It was just an analogy. I don't want someone else with my partner I don't want my partner to be with Brad Pitt. That makes me feel worse. You see, that's a key thing that we have to deal with, doesn't it? You feel bad because someone else is having a good time. We have to be able to let that go, because we can't control what they're going to do. So if our happiness is going to be attached to them having a good time or bad time, or like, is there any way of that being good? If they have a bad time, you feel happy. Well, that's not good. You're coming from a bitter, angry place to make you happy. You can't control that. The only way you can control it is to give them a bad time. It doesn't make you feel happy. It's not a positive cycle, that. They had a good time, that make you feel happy. That's okay. But what if they don't? Well, it's not your life. You can't help anymore. You know, they're going on their own road. They don't want you in the boat anymore. So that makes me feel sad. It's noble to say, oh, I want my ex to be happy. I'll do anything in my power to make them happy. Secretly thinking they'll still see me as a good person and come back to me. Whatever. It doesn't. Even if you're not secretly thinking that, forget it. It's not your jam. Their time. They're good and bad. You can't control it. It no longer has bearing on how you feel. At the moment it does, because it's raw. But the more you ignore that, the less you care about it, the more in time, the less you will care about it and the more you will ignore it. This is the strategy. If you mention their name one more time, they're off with Brad Pitt. Stop calling in sick. So we've done that. We've done the pint of ice cream. Stop calling in sick, I believe, because I've read this a while ago. Same thing. Get back to work. There's no point in... it's really difficult. I worked with people. So when I went through a breakup, people came in, they sat down in the chair, and instead of, oh, hi, how are you doing? I used to be a hairdresser. How are you doing? Like, you know, let's talk about you. They'd say, oh, yeah. And they say, how are you doing? I go, oh, I just went through a breakup. I don't want to talk about it now. Oh my God. And like, how am I going to deal with these people and talk about these things every day? I had to like knock it on the head for a couple of weeks. I just could, you know, but I had to go back to it. And face it and say, look, yeah, I have been feeling bad. So let's not talk too much about it, because it makes me feel bad. Let's talk about you. And then while they're talking about themselves, I'm thinking in my head, God, you know, I have to go through 2 hours of this before I can check my phone again to see if she's texted me, you know, because I was still in that. I hadn't learned, but, you know, you learn. You don't have that going. You try and engage with the work. You try and engage with the world and stop calling in sick. Let's get at it. Let's get on it. Let's remember that we're not thinking about it. Every time they pop in our head, let's put it aside again and let's be present in the real world. If they were so great, you'd still be together. This one, I remember another really good technique, and it sounds harsh. It's about acceptance. If they were so great, you'd still be together. You might think they're pretty good at the moment because you're not together. You always want what you can't have. You might think they're so good. You might meet someone else who's equally good, remember, or even better. So that's a possibility. You're not still together, so it can't be in the stars. There's more to this, though. I think one of the best tips from this was make a list of all the things you don't like about this person. I think maybe this could come earlier. I don't know. I forgot. You know, I'm not reading the book out, am I? I'm going out of my head. But making this list of all the things you don't like is actually really helpful, because there are things you don't like about this person. Certainly there are. One of the main ones is they chuffed off and did this chuffy thing. They've got no morals and they don't care. And how did they, you know, fair play. There are other things though, like the way they left the lid off the milk, or the way they would never leave the telly on. Like they'd always leave the telly on when or you know, whatever it is. Make your little list. No one's perfect. Remind yourself from time to time when you feel, oh God, I wish Wish they were here. I'm looking up at the stars and they're not here to enjoy them with me. Remind yourself that were they there with you, they wouldn't be looking at the stars. They'd be nagging you to chuffing, do this or that. Remind yourself that there are things you don't like about them. That does help. If they were so great, you'd still be together. It's not a compatibility match. Remind yourself of that, because you're going to move forward. Fancy meeting you here. Now, I don't know, I can't remember this, but I imagine meeting your ex in any social situation is awful. I believe the top tips here are to say, oh, great, nice, and put your little smile and then just get out of there. That's my top tip. I know it's going to be, I'm laughing now. You see what I did there? I was laughing because I'm not feeling as sad as the people who are coming here for the mental health support today. I'm not feeling as sad today because, I'll tell you why. Because I've worked really hard on going through these things. I definitely felt as sad as you. Definitely. I know how it feels. You feel like it's just death inside, and day to day, nothing changes, and they move on, and everything they do makes you feel worse. And it's like it feels like that's it done. Like, I'm not going to meet someone else. Nor do I want to. And how am I'm not, it feels like that, but it passes. It does pass. You've got to believe that. Got to believe it can. And it does. Things change. They change. Fancy meeting you here. Try and be your best self as well. Try and, not end up in that pint of ice cream. Try and do your hair and zhuzh yourself up. Because when you do see fancy meeting you here, you want to be, oh yeah, me, I'm just with so-and-so. We're off to thing. Fancy meeting you here. See ya. Don't need to have a big chat because I'm off with my life, doing my thing. So see ya. What's he thinking, she thinking, they thinking? What are they thinking? Again, this is another chapter about it doesn't chuffing matter. You can't control it. You can't overthink it, think it through, get it in your head, maybe this, maybe that. You can't see in their head. The only thing you do really know is that they're not thinking, let's stay together and do it together and be on the same team. And that's been thought through. We know that. So let's stop trying to think about what they're thinking, please. Let's stop trying to second guess. And they are like ashes in the wind. They're like ashes in the wind. Yes, Sippy Snips, yes. We're doing a quick one for breakups because we had someone on True Binaural and ASMR who left a comment to say that they had been through a breakup and the ASMR video was helping them. So they couldn't sleep. They were using the ASMR. It's exactly what we talk about, isn't it? It's exactly what we talk about is... in this example, the person, I'll tell you the detail. The details. In this example, the person, Mr. Oggy, they're in a relationship for 9 years. They've got a young daughter, and their partner, their girlfriend or wife, cheated on them. So now it's over. They're finding it difficult to sleep. They're using the ASMR videos. It's exactly what we talk about, which is that when people use ASMR as a tool to help them, it does help them. Pass the time, distract them. Yeah, get them to sleep, but it's not going to fix the problem at the core. So now we're doing a Mental Health Monday to help Mr. Oggy deal with the problem at core. Makes sense, doesn't it? Makes sense. It's not the be-all and end-all breakup companion. It's not every piece of advice. I think this particular book, it's called The Breakup because it's broken, is a good book. I've used it before, read it through. The tools, the ideas sort of apply. They're semi-cognitive behavioural, and so I'm not allowed to read the book on stream. So what I'm doing is I've got the titles of all the chapters, and I'm using my own memory to give an overview of what's in the chapters. So hopefully it acts as a jumping off point. A lot of, we're packing in the information in. We've only done 40 minutes so far. We probably won't do hours and hours, but we're packing in the information. So there's a lot there for Mr. Oggy to pull the different straws, maybe get the book, maybe read it, maybe just get some of these ideas working through, pushing forward. And is it for the breaker-upper and the breaky? I think it's for the person who gets dumped. That's what I think it's for. It has Greg's intro and Amira's intro. And from memory, I think they're I'm a man and I've been dumped, I'm a woman and I've been dumped, but it might be from both sides, I'm not sure. But every relationship is complex and different, but every breakup has the similarity, which is you're not going to be going back out with them. Time to get that in your head. Time to find a way of moving forward without them, without keep thinking about them, how to stop thinking about them all the time, and how to turn this sucking black hole inside, how to fill that void and allow it to start shining joy again, and to know that it's about time, patience, distraction, a lot of simple concepts that we use for depression in general. And maybe this breakup, because Mr. Oggy said that he felt depressed, maybe this breakup can be the catalyst to learning how to deal with these depressions and to help us move forward in life in bigger ways. So we're talking about a lot of different ideas. On to the next chuffer. Capital K said that, is it? I haven't had a date since my last breakup. There has been a COVID. There has been a COVID, but it wasn't because of COVID. I said I wanted to spend some time with no relationship, just feeling better and in myself, feeling how I want to feel before I can turn that into a partnership. So you don't have to necessarily move on to a person, but you can, that's okay. That's okay. In the long run, I'm sure we all will. Hopefully. So that's the little overview, middle view. Hopefully we will get this as an edit as well. Hopefully I will cut out some chuffing, and I've been really on it because I'm just going to use it as an edit for I've got to get something more on Mental Health Monday, and this specifically has to exist as a YouTube video so that I can put the link as an answer to the comment on True Binaural. I'll put the link for the video we're making today as an answer to the comment, so Mr. Oggy can find it and can say, there it is. I'll watch that. I didn't comment underneath Mr. Oggy, come on Mental Health Monday and watch. I've put enough on YouTube, on True Binaural, for these people to see it if they want. I didn't say we're going to be talking about him today. I don't want him to feel like his business is being broadcast on the internet, but he did put the comment publicly on the internet, so that's as far as we're going. I'm not bringing up his picture. I'm not, doing anything excessive like that. Sometimes it's good to step away and find yourself before dating again. Exactly. So let's get back to what we're talking about. The breakover. What's he thinking? And the breakover. Where's my breakup buddy? Oh, look. Then these commandments. Okay. The breakover, I believe that's like this sort of final chapter for saying once you've understood that you are broke up and that you stop sort of clamouring for more of your old partner, you start to have a void that you can now fill with new world. The breakup is over. It doesn't mean that you are finished breaking up. It doesn't mean that you are solved and fixed as a person. It doesn't mean that because you managed to do 10 weeks away without talking to them or and looking at your texts, it doesn't mean because you got to 10 weeks you're now finished. What it means is ongoing in life, you've been through something that's difficult that you can use as strength and solace for the future, but will always be there being a bit difficult. That you're sometimes going to be reminded about how you felt and still feel it. It's not ever like things that happen to us in life are not ripped away from us and removed. Your memories are still there. You've still got feelings. That's okay. It's how you move forward and deal with them in the future that make you who you are. So the breakup is done, but the breakover is a longer term process. And I personally believe it takes about as long as you've been going out, cut in half. So if you've been going out for 9 years, it's going to take about 4 years and a half to just be away long enough to start feel like it's time to move forward, just in terms of habit and time, in a way. This is specifically good for women. Yeah. I think all of it's quite apt for people these days, though. This book is written from the perspective mainly of like, you're a woman and you've been dumped by a man in some ways, but in other ways, the way that women's roles have changed in society, and I think it's just good for general breakup. So I think we should ignore the bits where it says his and she, and we should just think they about this. But yeah, there are different contexts for women as well. One of the more difficult ones for women is when a partner becomes aggressive or domineering or invasive, and are physically more threatening. That can be more difficult for women, I understand that. That can also be difficult for men, but more commonly more difficult for women. And that jealousy and things like that. And looking at it from the breakup side from the man, that's not going to help, is it, doing any of that stuff? We've already talked about how we're not on the phone doing all that sort of stuff. And for a woman, it's probably helpful to get some sort of sense of security as well, isn't it? But I can't talk too much about sex differences because I only have one sex. You need to set boundaries, you see. These are getting more specific, you see. So I think we're going to move through some of these generalities because everyone's got specifics and it's very hard to speak in specifics. And I think part of this is about not doing that. It's about saying, look, generally, we're going to move forward. So the first commandment, don't see him or talk to him or her or them for 60 days. Now, I just said, we can't just do these, but no, that is a massive one. You have to get it into your head that that's the plan. So having these commandments, why isn't my mouse working? Oh, there we go. Having these commandments helps you to sort of set these plans in stone almost, and see them as new normals, new normalities. A bit like the COVID, isn't it? Bit like the COVID. In the COVID, we changed the way we behaved, didn't we? A bit like the COVID. Don't see him or talk to him or her for 60 days. Set it as a little challenge. It's difficult for Mr. Oggy because they've got a daughter. There might be some things where you say, okay, speak to my lawyer, my friend that's going to deal with details, if you can. Or, maybe agree with, we need an intermediary because we argue. So maybe, just for arrangements about when to drop off and to see, when to, for child access and stuff like that, maybe we just get, one of our friends to help us as an intermediary. I don't want to be talking to you on the phone all the time, frankly. So, just go through that. Maybe that won't work. I don't know. But don't see them or talk to them for 60 days. Get them at no option. Maybe I just need to take, I've just found their hairband in the sofa. I need to go and speak to them and take it back to them. No, that goes 60 days, goes on the side, in the bin, away. Might as well go in the bin because they're dead to me. Just get rid of it. 60 days. Second commandment, get yourself a breakup buddy. This is a really important one. The breakup buddy, it's important that they understand what you're going through and are the right sort of person to help you deal with it. So choosing a breakup buddy is important. They need to be one of your friends, of course, someone that understands you over time, but maybe not the one who's going to get you down the bar and pump you full of drugs and drink and get you high and, shag everything and yay. Like maybe there are different kinds of breakup buddies that are going to be more or less beneficial. You're looking for someone who's going to be helpful, not destructive, who's going to have your back and listen to you talk about these things, but also encourage you to move forward. You're going to be looking for someone who's patient because they're going to have heard all this once, twice, 3 times before, and you're going to be selling it again, and they're going to be getting frustrated. So you've got to prepare them for that and tell them that you're going to be hearing from me a lot, breakup buddy. Please, please understand, and also tell me when to shut up. You're going to choose a good breakup buddy, not a self-destructive one. Not a self-destructive one. Think of it like this. If someone suggests that you get out there immediately, and capital K has suggested in past to get under someone to get over someone. But if you've got a friend who's going to suggest that you go more out of control than you ever would, or spend your time in environments, drinking, partying, clubbing, whatever, the environments that are not conducive to relaxation and recovery, maybe that's not the best buddy. With lads, they want to get you down the pub. That's okay, isn't it? I said not to drink, remember. I said it's no good to drink. It's beneficial not to. So maybe a sport buddy might help. But somebody who's also got time, who you can rely on, because there may be times when you're going to need to just call them up in the night. If you can't call them in the night, you can call the Samaritans. You can call the Lifeline. You can check in on our stream, see if we're here. Use our ASMR videos. That's a good idea. But talking to people is special. It's different from other things. It helps. So the breakup buddy is important. Get yourself a breakup buddy. It's a commandment. The third commandment of breakups is get rid of their stuff and the things that remind you of them. And that's really difficult because you've got a daughter. So contextualizing that reminder is difficult. I don't know specifically. I don't have the specific answer about that. I believe there will be. I'll research it for next week, but I believe, or as an addendum to put on the end of this video, I will look into that to see if there's anything specific, because it must be something quite difficult. Your daughter reminds you of your partner's not there, you're going to throw away all the stuff that reminds you of them, that thing they put on the wall, these spoon they like to use, whatever, it's all going in the bin. Get rid of that. Doesn't help you to be reminded of them all the time. Get rid of it. And but that's the first time that we went swimming, so I kept that Veruca sock. Do you know what I mean? I've actually got a box upstairs in the attic of like little items that would belong to, or Valentine's cards, a little sentimental, a little earring, a little thing, a flower wrapped up in cellophane that died on dried, and but it was the one that I picked and gave, those sort of things. I've got that box upstairs, but one day it's going to go on the fire, and it can go on the fire now as far as I'm concerned, because I'm over them now. I put them in the attic upstairs, so at least I'd have them if I ever wanted them, but I don't have them out and around. And when I do go upstairs, it will make me feel different things, but then I can just burn it, because it's not, the things aren't what's important, it's what happened, what was important, and how I move forward is important. The fourth commandment is get your ass in motion every day, and that is a top one, isn't it? Top commandment. We've been through the pint of ice cream. We've had the pint of ice cream days. We've had the sofa days. Get your ass in motion every day. Exercise provides endorphins. It gets you out into the environment in the world. You see the world change. You see people about their business. At first, when you see people about their business, how can they even go about this normal life when inside I've got a hollow black hole that just sucks in any joy? I'll go past the cafe and someone will say, morning, and I'll say, is it really another morning without her? And yet you could just eat your croissant and have no care, those days. But at the same time, you're kind of forced as well, aren't you, in a way, to be social and go, morning, and stuff like that. Inside, that's, but outwardly, I'm like, morning. And just being part of that, it helps seeing the world change, seeing the seasons change. Okay, it's cold. Still go out with my dog every day for a big walkie, in the woods if I can, seeing the flowers sprout, the seeds drop, the seeing the world change, occasionally catching sight of a deer. You know what my bag is about that. It is the best medicine. Exercise, activity, even if you're not a big, I'm not saying you have to go on the squash court every day. I'm not saying you have to go and play football every day for 90 minutes, hell for leather. I'm not saying you have to be sprint time trial sprinting, but getting out and in motion is the first step towards any of those things. All of those things can be good for you. Get out and in motion every day. Put it in your diary. Today I went out. Put it in your diary. I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, put it in your diary now. Even tonight, it's okay to go for a walk around the block after Mental Health Monday. The block after mental. Walk around the block. I'm not inadvertently being racist there, of course. It's okay to go for a walk around the block after Mental Health Monday, isn't it? It's all right to go for a walk around the block after Mental Health Monday. And doing it every day becomes a routine. I always feel sad that it's over, but I never have wanted them back no matter what. Yeah, exactly. Once they've broken it, it's called a relation breakup because it's broken. Once it's broken, once you've dropped that cup on the floor, you can't put all the pieces back together. It used to be a lovely cup. It used to be a perfect bowl. Now it's a shatter. You can glue them back together. It's going to have cracks. I'm going to see them. I'm going to remember the day we dropped it. We can move forward from here, and I can go and get myself a brand new... Oh, have you seen what they're doing with bowls these days? Brand new bowl. They've got a little space where you can rest your spoon on. I'd never even seen a bowl like that before. Didn't know I was going to enjoy that. It's my new favourite bowl. But I can't pick up the pieces and repair them. I just can't do it. I'm just not... We can't go back in time. Just can't go back in time. There are millions and billions of people on the planet. You see? And most of them have some sort of allegorical aspect with bowls. in that they all contain 80% water. Making jokes is not going to make you feel better, is it, today? So I'm going to stop making... You see, I told you I'd do this. I told you I'd be a chuffer. Making jokes. You feel like the world is sliding away and I'm making jokes. I know. Told you I'd be a chuffer. But this is what distraction's about. If you go and watch Anchorman, I challenge you, even though you feel bad, if you love Anchorman, even though you feel bad, there will be moments in it that will make you smile. And you'll think, I'm not smiling really, I'm feeling terrible inside, but come on. This is what it's about. Eat the ice cream, watch the movies, take the time to wallow in it for a couple of days, but then decide to put that down and move forward. We've done through the list. We're now on to the 5th commandment. And this one's super difficult. Don't wear your breakup out into the world. What? All the time I've been saying, talk about it. Have a breakup buddy. Tell them about it. Talk about it. Don't keep talking. What? Don't wear it out into the world. What? This is not the thing that defines you. Already, this is really important. I dated a jarhead like that. Already, there is a jarhead, jam jarhead like a bowl. I get it. Don't wear your... You see, now we're doing jokes. Don't wear your breakup out into the world. It's so tough because your breakup is not the thing that defines you. And yet, the first point of contact between me and Mr. Oggy is, I have been through this breakup. I'm using the ASMR to help. It's like like if you could put a big title, like a YouTube video has a little title and a thumbnail. If you could do a title and a thumbnail for what you're going through at the moment, the last few weeks, the next few weeks, it would be Breakup. Big thumbnail of, them off in the distance, you with the phone like, come back. That would be the thumbnail and title, wouldn't it? Breakup. It's not over till it's over. It's over now. That would be that. So how on earth are you not wearing that out into the world? I'm not saying bury your feelings. I'm not saying be something you're not. But what I am saying is that your breakup is not the thing that defines you on into the future. What defines you, and the reason this person was with you in the first place, taking it right back to who you used to be. It's not about who you were before, it's about who you're going to be in the future, isn't it? But what defines you is your positive character, your honesty, your loyalty, in this instance specifically, you're so loyal that it's hurting you. In this instance specifically, your loyalty, your good nature, your jokes, your charisma. Maybe you don't feel like joking now. That'll come back. You've got these qualities. That's what we're going to wear out into the world. That's our way forward. We're not going to let this breakup define us because, I can tell you a little story about people who divorced. I'm not going to try and rub anyone's noses in it. Who basically, for every day of the week and twice on Sundays, found a reason to talk about the chuffing divorce. And the divorce became these people were no longer individuals with stories. They were divorcees who, when you see them in the pub, are going to be like, chuffing so-and-so's out with their new missus, and I'm chuffing doing this, and the divorce. That's become they've morphed into just a product of a divorce. They're not a person anymore. What happened to you? Do you remember what you used to like? Racing cars, and you used to like cooking. Now you only like divorces. What's going on? Like, you're only interested in the matrimony. And what happened to you? We're not going to wear your breakup out into the world. It's happened. It's been a part of you. The relationship's the part of you that you're going to look back on and reflect on, take the positives. The breakup is not your fault. You didn't choose it. It's not something that you could control. It's not defining you. It just creates negative thoughts and then the hormones and then bad hormones, and then you're a grouchy chuffer. That's a specific type of chuffer now. Getting even worse, you see. But honestly, you can see what we're saying, can't you? You're not going to let that define you. It's not you. You're not a breakup. You're you. This is something that's happened in the past. So no backsliding is the next commitment. And it's a big one. And this is such a big one. When we say no backsliding, what we really mean is you're not allowed to... I've got to say this. But, you know, you're not allowed to have any sort of intimate, sexy time, no matter how drunk or, you know, how convenient it might be with your ex. Not allowed to do that. Don't even get it in your mind. Don't even if they come round, even if they're drunk, even if you bump into them at the drunkie bus itself, both smashed out your brains on the way home. No, never. No backsliding. So that's the top of that list. But all the other things underneath, like sending them a little cheeky text, doing a little card, buying them their favourite thing, going anywhere backwards on this list, start calling in sick again, start bringing up their name and feeling like you need to watch every episode of The Sopranos again. No, we've done it. We're not backsliding. We're not going back to them. We're not going back through the process. Maybe it's okay to run through a couple of these parts of the process through more than once in the early stages. If you didn't, like, maybe you weren't ready to give up the ice cream and The Sopranos just yet. Maybe it's okay to have another weekend of it. It's like a kind of hibernation mode that you go into that you have to break your way out of. So it's not that you break out, you're in the new air, and then your lovely comfy bed is discarded. You do kind of want to go back there again, but we have to keep forward. No backsliding. So yeah, no texts, no compliments. We're making a list of all the things we hate about them. Remember that? We're making a list of all the things we hate about them. It's on our phone. It's probably the picture on our phone. It's not because that's reminding us all the time. But, you know, it's on our phone if we want it. It's on a piece of paper. I wrote it on a piece of paper and I had it in my pocket. And sometimes I just have to go in the back of the shop because I was doing hairdressing and working with people. They'd say something. It'd make me feel this thing. And I was just going to get a cup of coffee and I open up the paper and I said, look, I remember she used to do this and I used to get really chuffed off about that. That chuffing witch. Put that back in my pocket. Yeah, I'm all right now. Let's get back on with it. I'm not going to fall into the backsliding of you kind of put this aura around. They were the best person ever. Only they could ever fill this void in you. This golden aura. Shatter it with our list of real, on the ground, actual things they did that we don't like. You can make a list of why you're not compatible. Yeah, absolutely. Make a list of what you want. Lists are good. The main one I used to come back to was why they were awful. Sorry, I'm getting joking again. I shouldn't joke. This is serious business, but also it's true to say that humour and positive vibes, that helps us to get through. And I couldn't really stand some of the... I'm going to talk about this in Big Face for a second. When really bad things happened in life, for me personally, like a breakup, but when it's a death in the family and we're all feeling the same way, I remember we sit down and we watch some really weird stuff on telly. We watched a documentary about Jack the Ripper when my nan died. We were all in such shock. So we went round to my sister's house to tell her what had happened, and we were all in such shock. So actually, I think I phoned her and told her. Anyway, look, we went round, we sat there, and we put this thing on Netflix and we all just watched it, and it just like washed over us. We're not that interested in Jack the Ripper. It's not appropriate for Nan's just died, but that just washed over us. I was able to distract myself for a bit. The other thing I found was that comedy, even if I'm not feeling it, even if I'm feeling depressed and sad, like certain comedies that maybe it's because I've got an attachment to them over my life, you know, a bit of Morecambe and Wise at Christmas, a bit of Anchorman, a bit of, you know, find your favourite Sandler movie, the one that really just tap it in, the one that's got a bit of a positive, you know, happy ending, maybe the one that makes you cry as well as laugh, and you're crying at the end because you're crying and you're sad, but you've had a laugh along. Like, these things cannot be denied. You do like Only Fools and Horses, or whatever it is, you know, whatever your favourite thing is. You know you do. You're not feeling it right now. So when you watch it, maybe you just watch it in a zombie-like mode and it just washes over you. But if it can raise one smile, I think these things are important. I think there's something about that. And I'm not, like, through the COVID, I was really... our music stopped. Hang on. Our music stopped. Through the COVID, I was really down on the entertainment industry sort of tried to roll on anyway. And I thought, like, you don't need to record new telly programs. Like, you don't need to be doing a new episode of Coronation Street every week. Give them all a rest. Let everyone be safe. But there is also an argument for saying people, like, entertainment is so positive for people. Like, we still need... I don't think we needed to do it during COVID. It's a different... I'm going off rails now. I'm going off the rails. What I'm saying is entertainment can really help, can't it? If it's just distraction, there's one thing. But laughing, endorphins, exercise, entertainment, laughing, distraction, coming back to who you are. You know, maybe before you met this person, you had your own favourite film from you and your mates at school, or something you and your parents used to watch when you were a kid. Maybe it's not something they get. Maybe it's your thing. And they were sharing in it while they were with you. But you can go back to that, who you are, what these things, these pieces of media that mean something to you, you know, and draw some strength out of that. You can do that. It also works with things like Transformers. I didn't mean that, but, you know, like, because I'm negative, I'm not into Transformers, but, you know, it works, whatever it is for you, whether it was Indiana Jones or Transformers, whatever it is, you know, there's something in that to be able to draw on. Yeah. I'm not going to go too off the rails there, because I will chunter on for ages and make it really difficult to edit. They were horrible even. They should never dump me, should they? They never dump me. You should never have done me. I was a prince. I am a prince. I was in my prime. People have different ideas. I'll tell you what, I'll go back big face quickly for one of these. Two of them that hurt me most recently. The two most recent, we were just not compatible. And I can look back on it and say fair play. The one of them, she really liked horses. I was moving into a more vegan place. I haven't become a vegan at that point, but I instinctively felt I don't like the way they're treating these horses. I don't like the way they're treating these horses. And I didn't like the way the people that own the horses treated the people that had to clean the horses. I didn't like any of it. But they loved it. They were in it. They were like part of that. They aspired to it. So we could never, you know, until they worked through, maybe they don't ever, whatever. If they love horses, they love horses. I can't, you know, I'm not going to become a horse person to be fitting in with their life. So I'm glad that I'm not part of their life anymore, because I don't want to be part of this horse thing. But back then I was like, oh, I love you so much. The horse thing is fine. I'll come and help you clean out the stables and keep my mouth shut. I don't know, yeah, looking back, why they weren't into me because I'm not into the horses. I'm not into the horses, I'm not into them. Fine. You know, that's an example. That's an example. Don't need to do too much about me. It's not about me. I was going to give 2 examples. Let's not even bother. We are now on... See, look, I'm getting confused. We're now on... It won't work unless you're number one. Let me have a sip of tea. It won't work unless you're number one. I think I'm paraphrasing, because this is the end of the book. Don't know how far through the book I got. I got through the whole book. Don't know if I remember the last bit so much. I believe this means, and I'm pretty sure it means, you cannot be running this process, but also holding them up on a pedestal. Holding this, you know, view of what this fantasy relationship should have been upon a pedestal. You can't be still saying, oh, yeah, I'll, you know, we've got a child together, so you and your feelings come first, and I'll, you know, maybe let's have Christmas together, and I'll just, you know, if I've got a girlfriend now, I won't bring her, or boyfriend now, I won't bring him. Like, we'll just, you know, can't put them first every time. Your feelings count now. You're number one now. Your child's number one, and you're number, like, your feelings count, and you can't run this whole system. Earlier on in the system, it's hard to do, but you can't run this whole system if this whole breakup thing, if at any point you're putting their happiness above yours. Remember what we said earlier, it doesn't matter if they're happy. Imagine they are happy. They're going to be. They're making their own choices in life, like you. So you're going to be happy. That's the main thing. It won't work. I'm never number one, even when it's just me. That's because you work in a profession where you're professionally obliged to, not just obliged, you've gone into it as a vocation to help others. But yeah, I'm encouraging you. Now you've said that, you've specifically said that in Mental Health Monday. I encourage you to remember that without you being number one, none of them could even get a fraction of the number, could they? They couldn't have a fraction of your time. So, you know, being all this stuff we talk about, I know that pipe up with the good ideas, but I know from myself that I don't follow through with some of the things I talk about in my own life. So you need to be reminded as well. It won't work unless you're number one. We're going to put ourselves first. We're going to do some self-care. We're going to try and do these things because we know that we... Oh, what have I done? Replying. Oops. We know that these are... try to be too nice to exes when I should just be a meanie. It's partly about being mean. It is partly about being mean. It feels mean, but really it's about being indifferent, I think is a better word than mean. Indifferent. I mean, a lot of these things, I write my list of the things I don't like about them. It's a bit mean. I write them off. I'm not going to talk to them ever again. It's a bit mean. But actually, it's indifferent. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. They're going to have a good time. They're going to have a bad time. It's going to come and go in waves. That's their life. They don't want me part of it all the time. Them being part of mine all the time, me thinking about it all the time is negative, detrimental to mine. There's no point to it because what I think about their life is not relevant to them. They're not going to action my ideas. We're putting it aside. So you can be mean, but we don't. This is the thing I was trying to advise on earlier. Err on the side of caution here. There's going to be a bit of spilling with your bestie about what a chuffer they are. But once it's through, once you've worked it through, we're not going to stay in the frame of mind of they're a chuffer and be mean. We're going to be indifferent. They're just another leaf in the wind. There's millions of people in the world. For a while, they were really important to me. Strange how that happened. Out of all the different people in the world, this one rose to this huge, important pedestal point. Strange, because there are loads. I meet them all. I'm sat on the bus next to them. I don't give a chuff about them. But this one got all the way up there. And then they just chuffed off. And now I'm left with a confusion and a disorientation and a feelings and a... Even that out. People in general are all quite important. Going to be nice to people in general. Going to go back to... From that one pedestal, going to just let that sink back into the sea. And dissipate. And we're going to go back to being a bit more even-handed with our love. Do you know what I mean? A bit more... You've got your daughter to keep on a pedestal, of course. Someone else is going to swim into, someone else is going to rise up out of the sea. Going to go through those joys again, maybe. But for now, I'm going to let that one pass, isn't it? Not mean, just a bit indifferent. It's sad in a way, yeah, it is. But both good advice and sad, I think. But it's cool because they're indifferent to us. They're moving on in there. The people on the bus are indifferent to us, really, aren't they? That's the mean standard setting. It's okay. In the big picture, it all works out the same anyway, doesn't it? The most important thing is your daughter and yourself feeling confident to move forward. They're the things that are important. And for being there in the future for your daughter will rely on you working through these things now. So that's important. For those about to rock, that chapter is... that chapter's for capital K. That chapter is for capital K. That is for people who are about to go out and enjoy a bit of freedom, a bit of single life, getting out down the disco and maybe waking up with someone they'd never met before. Not capital K now. Capital K is basically married now. Did that. I haven't got a ring on. But in my mind, I'm emulating his behaviour in his video. So he had a ring on. So I'm just emulating that behaviour. For those about to rock, there's some tips here. And the tips are generally, be responsible, wear a condom, take them at least. No, wear them. One on each hand. Look, be responsible. Let's not get out of hand. It's going to be fun. The dating game is good, but realise that even maybe 6 months down the line, a year down the line, out on my third date with my new partner, and all of a sudden I start feeling sad because I remember this thing that we did together, and now you're not there, and that's going to happen too. Bear that in mind. This new chapter about to rock. There's going to be some ups and downs in that as well. So be prepared. That's what that's about. Be prepared. We're not there yet, of course. We're not there yet. That's the funny thing about this book is that chapter is probably the least. It's all this other stuff that's the more difficult and get working on. And then at the end, you're kind of like, I don't need this book anymore. So don't you give me any advice. Don't hurt someone else in the process. Yeah. These days, modern dating, I don't know what it's like. I bet everyone's got an app for that, but be honest with people as well. That's important, especially if you're just coming off a breakup. Be really honest with people. Bonus chapter. Dude, get off her lawn. The tough guy's breakup buddy. This bonus chapter is because most of the book was written from the perspective of a female having broken up with a male, and you're sad and he's off. But, you know, modern world, it's not like that anymore. But this chapter is specifically as well about jealous males and having a tough guy's breakup buddy. Like I said, my sister is my breakup buddy. If I'm like, oh, I want to go around and, you know, talk to her, and for whatever reason, my sister's like, absolutely not, you're not talking to her anymore. You know, yeah, you need a tough friend that's going to strong arm you. I need a tough guy to get a guy off my lawn. No, it's you need to call your friend and say, I'm thinking of going and sitting on the lawn. Can you help me? You know, you need a friend that's going to not let you get to the lawn. That's what you need. And a friend that that understands these things, especially if you're male. May have to be another male, maybe. For me, it's not. It's a female. But that's what they imply here. Tough guy's breakup buddy. Some men, some women, some people need a more direct approach. I've been really careful not to be too mean throughout any of this. But sometimes you yourself need to hear a bit of meanness. Look, pull yourself together. Chuffing, stop calling her. What are you doing? Drinking again. You know, sometimes we need to hear these things. And they don't help. They don't help at the time because you're upset and angry and someone's being angry at you. But, you know, if it's your good buddy and you know, sometimes someone taking the keys off you is a good idea. Not going to go too deep into that because it can get a bit dark, can't it? Appendix, or one more thing before we go. And that's just nice words. That's just nice words. Nice words like, I'm pretty confident that you're going to get through this because I know that you've already experienced the worst part. There's going to be other things that feel like the new worst part, but you've already experienced the worst part. You're using the ASMR to sleep instead of using alcohol. You know, you're already on you've got a lot of positive powers. You know, you've revealed a lot of positive strengths within yourself in these early stages. So I'm confident that you're going to be able to follow these things and get some real benefit out of them. And that as the weeks pass, as the waves pass, you know, we're going to be falling asleep in exhaustion and joy rather than shattered but unable to even close our eyes. So coming back to the ASMR at the very end of it, I do hope that Oggy uses the ASMR to sleep, because that gets me more views. I hope they just use the ASMR when they want to chill. When they want to chill, I hope they use it. I hope they come back to it even though they don't need it to sleep. That's my great hope. That's my great hope. I hope ASMR can lead them to an avenue, lead them to a resource, to this, and we can really help someone. That's what I hope. That's what I hope. Just pick him up and chuff him. There's nobody on the lawn. The lawns are finished. Nobody's going on anyone's lawn. Is he in the States? He could come get the car off your lawn. No one's having any. We could have a coffee. See, you're getting asked out now. You're getting asked out. It's going to take time. The first thing is, it's going to take time. That's the main thing that you need to take from this, Oggy. I don't know where they are. I'm not going to pry in their personal life. I don't believe that it's. You know, I just feel, because I'm so British. I feel really like I shouldn't ask personal questions online, so I'm not going to try. If they want to volunteer things, if they want to join us in Mental Health Monday and chat, we can chat. But I'm going to make this video. I'm going to edit it, put it on Mental Health Monday, little breakup guide specifically for, and then I'm going to write a reply to the comment. All these things I've just said. I'm really happy that you found out ASMR. I'm happy that it's helped you. We've made a little video that can hopefully help you, you know, really deal with the core issues here, and then maybe in the long term you don't have to rely on ASMR to sleep, that you feel better in yourself, and that can be our gift to you. That can be our gift to you. And I feel it's important as well, because as a ASMR creator who made the ASMR video that was the light, the beacon that drew these, you know, these people who are suffering, I've done that. I've lit the beacon. So I can't just watch them all, you know, fly around the light and never, you know, fly around and fly around and fly around, and, you know, that's not the aim. Now it's about, like, you know, I don't know what you do with moths to make them feel better when they're flapping at your window, but we've got something better than ASMR, and it's this. So you might want to buy that book, you might not. You might want to practice some of the things I've talked about, you might not. I just hope you realise people care. That's the main thing at the bottom of it. People care. We care. There are people out there. You will find them. Give it time. Let's not bash our head against those brick walls. Let's not worry about who's driving those Ferraris. Let's just work on ourselves. Every day, another step forward. Bright things to think about. The beauty in your child is the beauty that you see in the world, through yourself. Yes, your partner's involved in that too. They've done their bit now. They've done their bit now. You've got the beauty to move forward. You've got the strength to move forward. You've got the passion and the wisdom to move forward. And that's going to shine its own light. And before you know it, there'll be great people that you never saw coming, creating the joy in your life, just like I have with the Ganji Puka Warrior crew. So thank you very much for putting a little comment on our YouTube channel. Thanks. Thank you, Snippy Snips, for being here. Thank you. Am I going to be able to remember a Korean name from a long time ago? Jaehoon. Thank you, Jaehoon, for being here earlier, and probably still now. Thank you, anyone who finds this and shares it with anyone. Thank you for your support. It's massive. It means the world to me. This is my life now because of you. And on into the future. We're doing more Pokemon tomorrow on Twitch. I'll try and do a little quick hour on YouTube of just chuffing before Pokemon. And has it been a year yet? Coming into February will be a year, won't it? Oh, I didn't even realise, yeah. It's been like a proper... I knock off January, February and consider that December was our anniversary. But yeah, it has kind of been a year, hasn't it? January, February were tough. I was still grieving, and then I started up in February, I think. Yeah. Approaching a year now. We should celebrate. What I want to have to celebrate is the first podcast. But I honestly have not got a guest together yet. And really wanted to do this DNA testing with my dad as the thing. So hopefully we'll get that together. A review stream. Yeah, happy to do that. Happy to look at my own face. Look at me talking. See how far we've come. We can do that, yeah. But there's a lot of Pokemon to play, bear in mind. And I don't want to play Pokemon offline without you. I want to play... the story has to be all online, doesn't it? So I'm not allowed to play Pokemon unless I'm online. So you never know. I might come back on tonight at 11 o'clock just for an hour of Pokemon. I am a streamer. We are supposed to play games. It is allowed. But I didn't realise that Pokemon was going to give me that Breath of the Wild feel and fix. And I didn't realise I was going to want to collect them all as much. So I am now... I'm envious of people with shinies. I want to get everything in shiny. Level 99 shiny. It's going to take some time. So I'm a Poke addict now. Never played a Pokemon game in my life. This is how it works, isn't it? That's how it works. Never played a Pokemon game in my life. Smoked a couple of Pikachus, and now I can't get enough. Now I'm out there in the fields day in, day out, grinding up. I'm trying to think of the names of the other Pokemon. Grinding up. I've been playing it all day. How come I can't remember any of their names? Dippy Hoof, and Horsey Mane. Pokemon, Horsey, Pony, Ponyta. There you go. You be good, my little Pucos. I've got to go now. There's a dog needs his walk. You be good, my little Pucos. You be good. And if you can't be good, then I'm going to text you like every 10 minutes. Every 10 minutes I'm going to text you. I'm going to be around you. Are you sure you didn't leave this? I found this half a sandwich that you might have been eating. Are you sure you don't want it back? Maybe would you like me better if I dyed my hair a different colour? You going out with someone who likes horses? I don't like horses. I could learn horses. No, if you can't be good, then I'm going to drag you out to have a relaxing day on a boat or something. Get your mind off it. And your mind might still be on it, and we talk it through a bit, and then we'll get your mind off it again with the game of Scrabble, and then you'll throw the Scrabble up the thing, because chuffing hate this boat. I just need to go and talk to her, and you don't need to do that. We'll pull it back. We'll get through it together. You be good, my little puckas.